welcome to Dave's Think Tank. This is my fourth and hopefully final video on the Arduino upgrade that I've been implementing on the Flash Gordon. In my first video, I added a long list of operational features that were missing from the code available online, and this included programming all of the dip switches and implementing all of the original self-tests and game settings. I made some minor changes to the game rules and fixed a long list of bugs. In my second video, I extended the existing code. I added a few more customization options to the game settings, implemented a voice queue to ensure multiple voices speaking at the same time all got heard, and added some fun features like scrolling displays and counting up the scores rather than just, setting them. I modified and extended some of the new rules and again fixed a list of bugs. My third video was all about making this the game I wanted. I worked on the sound, adding multiple music soundtracks from the film to identify the different game modes. I added some new sounds associated with individual switches, and I added a fun light pattern during the skill shot where the playfield had previously been completely dark. I also started responding to some of your requests, such as adding a ball save feature. And the list of bugs was getting noticeably shorter. So in this video, I finish up all these goals. I had some new music and some new sounds. I had a completely new self-test that I designed and that I think people will like. I make a nice little improvement to the final battle and respond to a couple of requests I received. But I don't see a whole lot of changes that I want to make from here, so this will likely be the last video on this topic. So, let's get into it. First, some minor sound improvements. And number one, I stopped the background music after you tilt the machine to really emphasize the message.
Gently, darling. It's extremely sensitive, like me.
Just no tilting the machine just to hear the tilt message, okay? I also added a fun quote I noticed in the film. When you knock down the third inline target and reach the wood beast, you'll hear,
"Try the wood beast or die."
Now there's an upper level 2x bonus as well as a lower level 3x bonus that both set up the 15-second timer. So I originally gave them both the same sound, a Dr. Zarkov saying,
"Very roughly 14 seconds."
I thought they should have separate sounds, so I searched for an appropriate quote from the film for one of them. To activate the lower level bonus, you have to do a crazy number of things. First, hit all 4 drop targets while the lights are flashing, then hit each of the 4 corresponding light switches. All 8 of these are challenging, and I very rarely get all 8 in a single ball. So I found and added this.
This place is a lunatic asylum.
A viewer asked me about a 4-second gap after the ball falls in the kicker and before the 15-second timer begins. This is in the original code and it's meant to allow you to watch a special light pattern, except most people will perceive it as a bug. So I added some sound to fill it in.
Remove the F-woman. Forget it, Ming. Dance with me.
You can still enjoy the light pattern, but the whole delay makes more sense now. And replacing the blaring alarm with the corresponding music from the movie ties it back to the movie neatly, I think. And next, I've added a really nice test to the usual list of self-tests. Following the usual light, digit, solenoid, switch, and sound tests, you'll now find a dip switch test. I don't like changing the dip switches because, frankly, I don't trust them not to break. And if one was broken, how would I even know? I don't like having to open the back box just to reset a dip switch or to check which way the switches are set. And I don't know about you, but I can't always tell just by looking which direction the tiny piece of white plastic on the white plastic background is actually pointing. This test resolves all these issues. There are 32 dip switches and 32 digits available to display them. By pulling up this test, you can see at a glance which way you have each dip switch set a 1 or 0 representing on or off. You can scroll through all 32 using the game credit button, and notice the 8th dip switch from each bank is one of the credit or ball in play switches. And you can temporarily reset any dip switch using the 3rd coin slot switch. This is great if you want to test out a dip switch setting or reset the machine for an easy game when you have guests or kids playing. The new settings will be active until you turn the machine off. Also, you may have noticed there are now a lot of self-test and game settings. To get out of this mode quickly, I've implemented an end switch. Just close the slam switch and test mode will end, sending you back to attract mode.
This way, Flash, come on!
In the final battle, Ming has 3 lives, so you have to defeat him 3 times, but in the heat of gameplay it wasn't always obvious to me if I had achieved a defeat or not. The game needed some way to display Ming's remaining lives, so the number of lives remaining is now displayed in the lower drop target lights. You can now easily check with a glance how many of Ming's lives remain. I've also set up a variable in the operator game adjustment section of the code where you can set Ming's lives to any value from 1 to 4. I had someone point out to me that the match feature at the end of the game was really crappy. I noticed this was bad early on and I didn't understand the code, so I just turned it off on my machine. But having someone point it out to me made me go back and look at it again. I didn't like either the sound generated, it was trying to create some kind of weird echo effect, or the display of random numbers. I rewrote both and I think they are much improved.
Oh, well, who wants to live forever?
So, unless I get a whole lot of requests for bug fixes or interesting modifications, that about does it for these Arduino videos. If you do notice a problem with the software or have an interesting idea for modification, just let me know in the comments. But for now, let's play a game.
Hey, Flash, come on!
The would be 14.
Remove the Earth Woman. Forget it, Ming. Dale's with me.